100% Ryan was the one who put this line in here. Not SNL, not Tina Fey, not Blake Lively, but Ryan.
Ryan Reynolds who wrote that joke. Of course. Also, what did Amy Schumer say to Blake Lively?
And it was the perfect storm for people like us that are already so fed up with her lies.
He alleges that one of the ways she was manipulated and used on this set.
The legal showdown between Blake Lively and Justin Belloni has taken a dramatic new twist, with conservative commentator Candace Owens now speaking out. Owens is fiercely criticising what she calls a shocking number of lies from Blake Lively's team as the high-profile lawsuit continues to make waves in the media. She is accusing Lively's camp of inconsistencies and intentional manipulations in both their legal filings and public statements.
Thank you, oh, thank you, Blakey, thank you, thank you. Yes, unsuccessfully attempting to raise concerns with Sony, Lively expressly told Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, there were serious HR problems on set. Mr. Heath responded that they knew, implying that someone had mentioned to them that Miss Lively had raised concerns. In response, Heath told Miss Lively he thought she wanted to see the nude video of his wife. Big deal, Canada. Here's what I don't understand.
What began as a behind-the-scenes conflict during the filming of It Ends With Us has erupted into a full-blown public spectacle, fueled by competing lawsuits, media spin, and increasingly hostile rhetoric, while Blake Lively asserts she is standing up for herself and others who felt uncomfortable on set. Candace Owens and Justin Belloni's legal teams contend that Lively's narrative is filled with falsehoods and fabricated claims. Motions are being filed, subpoenas are being challenged, and even SNL sketches are adding fuel to the fire. The battle lines have clearly been drawn. So, what exactly has Candace Owens exposed? And how is Blake's team reacting to the growing pressure? Let's take a closer look at the latest developments.
Believed to be is a boat full of lies. It's about taking feelings, emotions, and just, your little sensitive feelings and turning them into making a mountain out of a molehill. Is that what you say? Yes, making a mountain out of a molehill and ruining what I believe to be possibly not a perfect angel's life, because I don't believe anyone is a perfect angel, but I don't believe Justin Baldoni is a guilty, sinister, evil man. And it's very, I will say, it's very parallel to what we're seeing in worldly global news, and turning the world, or trying to turn the world against that person because you have more access to power.
Blake Lively's explosive legal filing was meant to bolster her case, but it has instead sparked widespread backlash. Owens, along with multiple legal experts, has highlighted what they consider glaring inconsistencies and unproven claims within the document. While the filing accuses Justin Baldoni of misconduct, critics argue it lacks solid evidence to support many of the allegations. Candace Owens didn't hold back, calling the complaint a deliberate effort to sway public opinion with a mix of half-truths and outright falsehoods.
100% Ryan was the one who put this line in here. Not SNL, not Tina Fey, not Blake Lively, but Ryan. And sure enough, some amazing mommy sleuths sent me a link yesterday, which you guys don't forget, you can always email me tips, info@CandaceOwens.com, and she says, check out this broadcast on an Australian radio show called Fifi, Fev, and Nick for Breakfast. Literally an Australian, a Melbourne, Australia station. where they had a guy who's been with SNL for like 25 years. His name is Cue Card Wally. He literally holds the cue cards for SNL, and he was just opening up with them in a friendly conversation about how exciting hosting that 50th anniversary was. And at the very end of the conversation, Cue Card Wally gets asked about that line. Ryan Reynolds jumping up and making a joke about the Justin Baldoni situation, and take a listen to what Cue Card Wally had to say. She filmed one scene, the dance scene, where they are talking to each other, and she lies and claims that he was out of character, but forgot to mention that she was speaking to him out of character. Why didn't she just ask the intimacy coordinator from that day forward to be with her every step of the way? She didn't do that. Why is it that after that scene, which is supposed to be the huge scene that made her uncomfortable, did she invite him into her trailer while she was breastfeeding? None of this makes any sense. To now acknowledge that you had communication with an intimacy coordinator actually proves their point. That your list of 17 demands that you sent in November to put a complete stop to principal photography was always a nonsense. You were always making things up that never were an issue. You had access to an intimacy coordinator, which is exactly what Justin Baldoni's team is alleging. They never deprived you of an intimacy coordinator.
In a significant development, the judge overseeing the case dismissed parts of Blake Lively's filing, ruling that several of her claims lacked sufficient evidence. This decision was viewed as a victory for Justin Baldoni, whose legal team has consistently argued that Lively's complaint is based on hearsay rather than solid facts. Candace Owens applauded the judge's ruling, stating that it validates what she and others have been saying all along, that Blake's team is more interested in tarnishing Baldoni's reputation than presenting a credible case.
I'm not providing any excuses for Colleen Hoover here, but I do think that strategy of love bombing would work, because what they're thinking is all we have to do, if you're Blake and Ryan, is imagine what these people want. What would be the biggest help to them? What are their biggest dreams? How do we help them realize those dreams? So for Brandon Sklenar, we know, it's not confirmed that they helped, but we know that during this time period he signed with WME, the biggest agency in the world, and he's not that big of an actor. That happened for him suddenly. We know with Colleen Hoover, it was probably likely this pitch of you should own your book rights, you should own the sequel rights, we want to help you do that. Maybe they were going to take a piece of the production company, who knows. We know with Channing Tatum, it was Gambit, this role that he had dreamed up since he was a child.
One of the most talked about aspects of the case is Blake Lively's aggressive use of subpoenas to demand information from Justin Baldoni and third parties. However, her strategy may have backfired, with legal analysts criticizing the overreach. Candace Owens pointed out how Blake's team issued subpoenas that were not only invasive, but also poorly timed, which could hurt their credibility in court. In response, Baldoni's legal team has filed motions to quash several of these subpoenas, arguing that they were intended to harass rather than uncover relevant information.
Let me first start by explaining basically the background of what subpoenas are and what the whole process looks like. But before I do even that, I have to thank this video sponsor. This video is sponsored by Sealy. Sealy is a new eSIM service app brought to you by Nord Security. It allows you to choose from several affordable eSIM plans in a growing number of countries and regions. If you're planning on traveling internationally anytime soon, you'll probably want to keep your phone data connected when you are overseas. Because there are a lot of places that have Wi-Fi, but there are also a lot of places that don't. And I can tell you from experience from living overseas for the last 4 years that it's not fun when you find yourself without both Wi-Fi and data. My phone plan from back home from the United States actually does give me a certain amount of data in most countries, but it's still not that great. I've had times where I've needed to, for example, take baby bites to the doctor. On the way there, try to get authorization from the insurance company, but then, in the midst of all of that, getting throttled by my phone service.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' recent appearance on Saturday Night Live became an unexpected flashpoint in the case. During the show, Ryan made a joke that many saw as a subtle jab at the ongoing lawsuit. Lip readers even analyzed a behind-the-scenes exchange between Blake and comedian Amy Schumer. Further fueling the drama, Candace Owens criticized the couple for turning a serious legal matter into comedy, calling it a tone-deaf move that could backfire publicly. Meanwhile, Blake's team has downplayed the incident. Public perception is starting to shift, with some accusing the couple of arrogance.
Ryan Reynolds who wrote that joke. Of course! Also, what did Amy Schumer say to Blake Lively? A lip reader has revealed all. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and of course Ryan Reynolds took Saturday Night Live's script and rewrote it, because that's what these two do. Famed cue card guy has now claimed that it was Ryan who pitched it. Took a joke. Deadpool, Wolverine star, showed up, as we all know, at this anniversary, where Amy Poehler asked, Ryan, I don't know how it's going. Why? What have you heard? This is the famed cue card guy. He's like a famous, what's his name? Wally Fairstein. He did a podcast. He's the one who holds the cue cards during the show. He's been doing it for quite some time. So clearly he would know. This isn't just some willy-nilly person.
Lively's amended complaint, initially intended to reinforce her allegations against Justin Baldoni, has instead been criticized as being full of lies and inconsistencies by figures like Candace Owens.